Right now, there's a wheel turning within about 10 feet of you. In your car, your office chair, a door hinge, a fan, a clock. It feels like the single most obvious invention humans ever had. It's actually one of the latest. What if the wheel was never invented? By the time anyone builds a wheel for transport, humans have already invented farming, pottery, writing, and the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza is under construction around 2600 BCE, moved into place with sledges, ramps, and raw manpower, no wheels involved. The wheel doesn't show up for transport until roughly 3500 BCE, and even then, its first job isn't hauling anything. It's a potter's wheel, spinning clay in Mesopotamia, decades before anyone straps one to a cart. The oldest wheel we've actually dug up is wooden, pulled from a Slovenian marsh, dated to around 3130 BCE, barely older than the pyramids themselves. Here's the surprise. Rolling a heavy thing on logs is easy. Anyone can figure that out. The hard part, the part that actually took millennia, is the axle. A wheel loose on a stick wobbles, jams, and burns through friction almost immediately. You need a fixed axle, a smooth bearing surface, and enough precision to keep the whole thing from seizing under load. That's the real invention, not the circle, the rotating joint. Once someone in the Pontic-Caspian, steppe, or Mesopotamia cracks it, it doesn't get reinvented elsewhere. It spreads west into Europe, east into Asia, from what looks like a single origin point. One idea, radiating outward for thousands of years. Here's the twist you're waiting for. Somewhere, an entire hemisphere never got the memo and did just fine anyway. The Americas had zero contact with any of that. No trade route, no shared idea, nothing until 1492. And archaeologists have found something strange in Mexico. Small ceramic animal figurines, dogs and jaguars, standing on little wheeled axles, dating back as far as 1500 BCE. Toys. The concept of the wheel and axle wasn't a mystery to them. Someone in Mesoamerica understood it well enough to build working miniature versions. It just never got scaled up. The reason isn't a lack of imagination, it's a missing ingredient. The Americas had no horses, no oxen, nothing built like a draft animal strong enough to pull a loaded cart. Actual horses had gone extinct there roughly 10,000 years earlier, the same extinction this series covered a few episodes back. A wheel with nothing to pull it is just a toy. So the great civilizations built something else instead. The Inca ran an empire of something like 12 million people across the Andes on a network of roads and stone stairways, still called one of the most sophisticated transport systems of the pre-modern world, built entirely for feet and llama caravans, because half of it is literal stairs cut into mountainsides. The Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, was built on a lake and ran on canoes gliding through canals, arguably a smarter system for that geography than a cart would ever have been. The Maya paved raised white causeways connecting their cities for foot traffic. None of it needed a wheel. All of it worked. So here's the real what if. What if the old world had followed the exact same path? What if that one breakthrough in the steppe never happens there either? No chariots. And that's bigger than it sounds. Chariot warfare reshapes the ancient world for over 1,000 years, from Egyptian and Hittite armies at Kadesh to early Chinese and Indian warfare. Take it away. An ancient military state built around infantry and, eventually, cavalry, with a very different rhythm to how empires expand. No Roman road network built for wheeled supply trains, because without carts you don't need roads engineered flat and wide enough for them. Roman logistics, the thing that let a professional army get fed and reinforced across 3 continents, has to be rebuilt around pack animals and human porters instead. Slower, costlier, a different shape of empire. Pottery changes too. A potter's wheel lets you throw symmetrical, uniform vessels in a fraction of the time hand-building takes. Remove it, and ceramics across the ancient world stay lumpier and slower to make for centuries longer. And the quieter loss is the biggest one. The wheel and axle is the ancestor of almost every rotating mechanism humans ever build. Gears, pulleys, water wheels, spinning wheels for thread, eventually turbines, engines, hard drives, clock mechanisms. Anything that turns around a fixed point owes its lineage to that one Bronze Age breakthrough. Losing it removes the conceptual starting block for most of mechanical engineering. And yet, the Inca prove the closing point all on their own. A wheelless civilization can still run an empire, move mountains of stone, and organize 12 million people. What the wheel actually buys you isn't civilization. It's a very specific kind of machine, the rotating kind. Every engine, every gear, every hard drive spinning right now is downstream of one Bronze Age axle that happened to work. Fertilizer fed the soil. The potato fed the population. The horse gave everyone speed. Coffee kept an empire arguing until dawn. Soap kept enough people alive to keep arguing. The wheel just gave one specific kind of motion a name and quietly became the ancestor of every machine that spins. Some inventions show up right on time. This one showed up almost embarrassingly late and somehow still ended up underneath everything.